Good evening. I am April Singlama and these are the headlines of the hour. Government delays appointment of Nepal Rashtra Bank Governor. Nepali Congress President Deuba says that the Prime Minister supports Congress candidate as Cabinet awaits implementation. Opposition criticizes government for excluding national pride projects from policy document. Government defends omission citing timeline-based implementation. Hamas rejects further ceasefire talks as Israel announces plans to expand its Gaza offensive, denies to engage in new proposals citing Israel's starvation war. And Nepal police and APF secure spots in Women's Gold Cup final. Departmental rivals to clash for the title in Hetauda on Thursday. Welcome back. A month has passed since the position of governor at Nepal Rashtra Bank became vacant. During that period, the Council of Ministers has convened 5 times, yet the government has not been able to make an appointment. An understanding has been reached between Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli regarding the candidate. However, the appointment has not yet been formalized.
Following the vacancy in the post of Governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank, the Council of Ministers has convened 5 times. The Governor Recommendation Committee was formed on 24th of March. However, it has not held a meeting to propose a candidate as it continues to wait for political consensus. Economists have expressed concern that this approach overlooks the provisions of the National Bank Act and may undermine the country's financial governance.
र दात्री निकायसँग कतिको समन्वय राखेर काम गर्न सक्छन् अनि राष्ट्र बैंकको टिमलाई कतिको चलाउन सक्छन् भन्ने आधारमा हेर्नुपर्ने हो तर यहाँ चाहिँ नितान्त त्यस्तो एउटा प्राविधिक काम प्राविधिक पदलाई पार्टीगत राजनीति मेरो कि तेरो भन्ने हेरेर यसले समग्र राष्ट्र बैंक मात्र होइन मुलुकको वित्तीय प्रणालीकै
On 16th of April, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli reached an understanding to appoint Gunakar Bhatta as the governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank, even though the recommendation committee had not put his name forward. Amid this, committee member and former governor Vijayanath Bhattrai resigned, citing political interference. On Tuesday, Nepali Congress President Deuba reiterated that the Prime Minister has agreed to give the governorship to the Nepali Congress.
Governor भनेको खासै त्यस्तो शक्तिशाली पद होइन तर यो 3 वर्षमा जुन किसिमको फाइनान्स मिनिस्ट्री र गभर्नरको रिलेसन थियो त्यसले मान्छेको माइन्डसेट नेताको माइन्डसेटलाई नै गभर्नर हाम्रो मान्छे भएन भने यो त उतल-पुतल हुन्छ अर्थतन्त्र नै बिग्रिन्छ भन्ने माइन्डसेटमा गएको छ अहिले गभर्नर बैंकको नियुक्तिमा नेपाली कांग्रेसले चाहिँ अलिकति लिबरल गभर्नर होस् भन्ने मा छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ मेरो चाहना पनि अलिकति लिबरल गभर्नर होस् भन्ने कम्युनिस्ट पार्टीहरू यसमा अलिकति कन्जर्भेटिभ हुन्छ
The appointment process for the governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank remains stalled due to a lack of political consensus and party interests in promoting preferred candidates. Gunakar Bhatta's resignation has yet to be accepted, reportedly facing resistance from within the ruling coalition. As a result, the leadership of public institutions has become increasingly politicized, sidelining professional and qualified individuals. The governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank is expected to formulate monetary policy in the national interest, support the government in managing the economy, and safeguard foreign exchange reserves. However, a lack of consensus has persisted, influenced by past policy decisions and tensions between the government and the former governor.
Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba said that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli supports appointing a Nepali Congress candidate as the governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank. However, Deuba clarified that Prime Minister is not responsible for the delay in the appointment. Speaking at Dialogue in Sanepa, Nepali Congress President Deuba stated that the delay in appointing the governor is due to internal issues within the institution. He emphasized that Prime Minister Oli has not caused the delay and is supportive of the Congress leading the appointment.
Nepali Party का नेता केपी ओलीसँग हाम्रो गठबन्धन छ र उहाँले अहिले चाहिँ गठबन्धन कुनै समस्या क्रिएट गर्नुभएको छ समस्या पनि छैन अब जसमा उहाँले कुरा उठाउनु भएको छ कि राष्ट्र ब्याङ्कको गभर्नरको सम्बन्धमा उहाँले ल्याएको समस्या चाहिँ होइन त्यहाँ राष्ट्र ब्याङ्कभित्रै आएको समस्या चाहिँ हो हामीले भनेको उम्मेदवारलाई गाह्रो भइरहेछ तर हामीले त्यो गर्दैछौँ उहाँ चाहिँ काङ्ग्रेसलाई दिएपछि हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ चाहिँ छैन फेरि
Former ministers, economists and business leaders have said that the country's economy is facing serious challenges and called for significant reforms. Former Finance Minister Mahesh Acharya stressed that control-based economic policies are ineffective and emphasized the need for a reformed budget.
Economic reform को खाँचो मैले देखिराखेको चाहिँ छु र यो सबैभन्दा पहिला विभिन्न पोलिटिकल पार्टीको नेताहरू बसेर हाम्रो चाहिँ आदरणीय सभापतिजीले एमालेको नेतालाई माओवादीको नेतालाई अरु पार्टीको नेतालाई राखेर भन्न सक्नु पर्दछ नेपालले हिँड्ने अर्को बाटो चाहिँ छैन फेरि फर्किएर राज्य नियन्त्रित अर्थव्यवस्थाको चाहिँ यहाँ र त्यहाँ वकालत गर्ने यहाँ र त्यहाँ नीतिगत चाहिँ तपाईलाई चाहिँ करप्ट प्र्याक्टिसेसहरु गर्ने चाहिँ छुट अब कसैलाई पनि चाहिँ हुनु हुँदैन भन्ने कुरामा दर्विलो चाहिँ अडानका साथ नेपाली कांग्रेस पार्टीको सभापतिले उभिनका निम्ति चाहिँ जरुरी चाहिँ छ.
It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
What do you think of the parliamentary discussions on government policies and programs? 89% voted for A, traditional, 5% voted for B, creative, and 6% voted for C, implementation oriented. Now here's today's question. Why do you think Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba claimed that the Prime Minister had agreed to appoint NC candidate as the governor of Rashtra Bank? Your options are A, politics of power sharing, B, a ploy to weaken the institution, or C, can't say before appointment. The voting is on. Type an EWS, select your option, A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, opposition parties strongly criticized the government for omitting national pride projects from this year's policy and program, raising concerns over its commitment to such initiatives. While past criticism focused on inadequate funding, this omission cast further doubt on the government's priorities. The government maintains that as these projects have defined completion timelines, their inclusion in the policy and program is not obligatory.
The government's stated focus on high-return projects in the upcoming fiscal year's policy and program, it omitted mention of 24 national pride projects. Opposition parties have strongly criticized this, questioning the government's commitment to these priority initiatives.
यसअघि देशको द्रुत र सन्तुलित विकासका लागि सदन अध्ययन र छलफलबाट अघि सारिएका राष्ट्रिय गौरवका आयोजनाहरू कार्यान्वयन गर्ने कार्यलाई प्राथमिकतामा राखिएको छैन. अचम्म त के भएको छ भने सरकारको नीति तथा कार्यक्रममा राष्ट्रिय गौरवका आयोजनाको नाम समेत उल्लेख गरिएको छैन.
The government argues that as legal provisions are being prepared to set project deadlines, inclusion of national pride projects in the policy and program is not mandatory. The National Planning Commission adds that project completion timelines have been defined through an amendment to the Financial Procedures and Fiscal Responsibility Act 2076.
राष्ट्रिय गौरवको आयोजनालाई इयरमार्क गर्नुपर्छ भनेर व्यवस्था छ. उहाँहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो कानुन पारित गरेर उहाँहरूले थाहा पाउनु भएछ. फर्स्ट त्यो कुरा चाहिँ थाहा पाउनु पर्यो. फर्स्ट त्यही अनुसार चाहिँ हामीले के गरेका छौँ भन्दा रिपोर्ट चाहिँ अर्थ मन्त्रालयमा बुझाइसकेका छौँ. हामीले सिलिङ चाहिँ दिँदाखेरि नै चाहिँ इयरमार्क गर्नुपर्छ भनेर हामीले त्यसरी गरेका छौँ. त्यो हुनाले इयरमार्क गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ फर्स्ट टाइम हामीले चाहिँ यो गरेका छौँ.
The Planning Commission has recently classified national pride projects with defined completion targets. The Milamchi Drinking Water Project, Mid-Hill Highway and Postal Highway are set for completion by Asar 2084, while projects such as Rani Damara Kularia and Baba Irrigation are scheduled for Asar 2085. Long-term projects like Budi Gandaki Hydropower and Mono Metro Rail are expected to take over 15 years. Although not explicitly mentioned in the policy and program, the Ministry of Finance states that budget ceilings for these projects have been allocated based on recommendations from the respective thematic ministries.
राष्ट्रिय गौरवको पर्टिकुलर आयोजनालाई कति बजेट राख्ने भन्ने सम्बन्धित विषयगत मन्त्रालयहरूको जिम्मेवारीभित्र पर्ने कुराहरू उहाँहरूले त्यसलाई कति एलोकेट गर्नुहुन्छ र अरूलाई कसरी एलोकेट गर्नुहुन्छ र कतिपय आयोजनाहरूलाई चाहिँ अर्थ मन्त्रालयले योजना आयोगको सहकार्यमा चाहिँ इयरमार्क गरेर पठाएको अवस्थाहरू पनि छ उहाँको सिफारिसमा.
Since fiscal year 2068-69, 24 projects have been designated as National Pride projects. Their initial estimated cost of 1 trillion Nepali rupees has now risen to approximately 2.6 trillion Nepali rupees. However, due to inadequate resource mobilization, progress on these projects has fallen short of expectations.
In our Public Voice segment, we have asked in several provinces, why is it that once a project is designated as a National Pride initiative, it often faces insufficient budget allocation and delays in implementation? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सुरु सुनिश्चितता बिना चाहिँ पपुलारिटीको आधारमा योजना वितरण पनि प्रमुख समस्या देखिन्छ.
ठेकदार पार्टी जुन छन् अब यिनीहरूले अब यसलाई चाहिँ गौरवका योजनाहरूलाई सकारात्मक हिसाबले काम गर्ने, तोकिएको समयमा काम गर्ने, तोकिएको समयमा सम्पन्न गर्ने जुन एउटा परिपाटी अलिकति चाहिँ हामीले नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टमा हेर्दाखेरि कमजोर देखिरहेको छ.
हाम्रो देशमा जुन यो चाहिँ अस्थिर राजनीति चाहिँ छ हैन, 4-4 महिनामा 6-6 महिनामा चाहिँ सरकार परिवर्तन भइराख्छ. एउटा सरकारको पालामा भएको योजनाहरू जुन छुट्याएको हुन्छ त्यो अर्को सरकार परिवर्तन हुने बित्तिकै त्यसलाई फेरि जुन बन्द गर्छ.
राष्ट्रिय गौरवका आयोजनाहरू बजेटको सुनिश्चितता बिना अगाडि बढ्नुको कारणले नै अहिले धेरै कामहरू रोकिरहेको देखिन्छ हैन. त्यसकारण चाहिँ ठुलो आयोजनाहरूलाई बहुवर्षीय राखे तापनि बजेटको सुनिश्चितता भएपछि मात्रै अगाडि बढ्यो भने चाहिँ यो सफल हुन्छ.
राष्ट्रिय गौरवको योजना पारियो भन्ने बित्तिकै त्यस ठाउँको आफूलाई भोट ब्याङ्कको रूपमा परिचालन गर्न मात्र नेताहरूले खोजे. जबसम्म यो किसिमको कुरो क्लियर हुन्न, एउटा राम्रो प्राथमिकरण निर्धारण गर्नको लागि पनि एउटा छुट्टै किसिमको नीति निर्माण गरेर सहज किसिमले स्वार्थ बिना अगाडि बढ्न पर्छ.
पर्याप्त बजेट हुन पर्यो. यदि कुनै बजेट हुन सकेन, समयमा सकिएन भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ नि क्रमशः राख्ने गरेर पनि त्यसलाई पुरा गर्नुपर्छ.
बजेट चाहिँ पर्याप्त रूपमा छुट्याउनु पर्यो अनि त्यसपछि समयमा काम पनि हुनु पर्यो. यसपछि बल्ल ठुला ठुला योजनाहरू सबै छरपष्ट आउँछन्, सबै कामहरू हुँदै जान्छ.
योजनाहरू ल्याइन्छ, एकदम फुर्तीफार्तीका साथ ल्याइन्छ हैन. अनि त्यो योजना चाहिँ कार्यान्वयन जाँदा चाहिँ नेता आफू पनि हराउँछन्, त्यसमा फलोअप पनि हुँदैन.
राष्ट्रिय योजना एउटा चाहिँ मुख्य रूपमा चाहिँ यसरी आयो भनेर देखाउने र त्यसलाई कार्यान्वयनको पाटोमा अलिकति नि पहल कदमी नगर्ने, जुन तरिकाको सुरुमा उत्साह हुन्छ, देखावटी हुन्छ, त्यस पछाडि हराउने.
प्रत्येक वर्ष सरकार पनि चेन्ज भइरहने अनि त्यो राष्ट्रिय गौरवको आयोजना नाम राख्ने अनि त्यसमा प्रत्येक वर्ष बजेट अलिअलि छुट्याउने, त्यो बिचौलियालाई पोस्नको लागि, जो ठेकेदारहरूलाई पोस्नको लागि गरिएको जस्तो लाग्छ.
एउटा सरकार लिएको बजेटहरू सरकार फेरबदल हुने क्रममै अर्को सरकारले त्यसलाई पर्याप्त कार्यान्वयन नगर्नु मुख्य समस्या हो.
बहुवर्षीय आयोजनाहरू बनाउने हैन, तर त्यसलाई चाहिँ आयोजना बनाएर बजेटलाई सुनिश्चित नगर्दाखेरि पनि कतिपय कार्यान्वयनमा चाहिँ समस्या देखिने.
चुनावी एजेन्डाका लागि मात्रै चाहिने तपाईको यो आयोजनाहरू चाहिने ल्याउने भएका कारणले गर्दाखेरि यी आयोजनाहरू अल्पत्र परिरहेका छन्.
The final of the National Women's Gold Cup football tournament is set with departmental teams Nepal Police and APF competing for the title in Hetauda. In the second semi-final held on Tuesday at the Gaurita Stadium, APF secured a 2-0 victory over Sankata. Rasmi Gising scored in the 71st minute, followed by Anita Casey in the 76th. Rashmi's goal came from a header off captain Anita Basnet's corner. Renuka Nagarkoti, who impressed throughout the match, was named player of the match. Earlier the same day, Nepal police dominated Chitwan with a 7-0 win. Meena Deuba and Nirmala Upadhyay both scored hat-trick, while Susma Tamang added a goal. The final will take place on Thursday. The champion will receive 500,000 Nepali rupees and the runner-up will take home 300,000. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.